At the height of his career in the 90s, Greg Valentino had the world's biggest biceps. With a circumference of 28 inches, these were the result of hardcore steroid abuse. Steroids might enhance performance and make muscles grow bigger, faster, but there's a list of potential side effects, from hair loss and acne to depression, liver and heart problems.
Let's get more details from Emilia Papadopoulos.
Well, another criticism of these plans is, of course, the potential impact this could have on the millions of tourists that visit the capital every year. Now, a station like this one, Queensway, is particularly popular with visitors to the capital, and there are concerns that there might be fewer staff available to help them.
In his first television interview, he told our reporter Emilia Papadopoulos that he felt compelled to join the group after watching news reports.
Although he's not religious, he's joined a group called Dwike Nashar. Little is known about this nationalistic Christian militia, though it's understood it's recruited 200 to 300 members, mainly from the West.
The Home Office says it consistently advises against all travel to Syria and parts of Iraq. Anyone who does travel to those areas is putting themselves in considerable danger.
Emilia Papadopoulos is at King's Cross Station with more details. Why is it going to be so bad, Emilia?
Well, this is all part of a huge £200 million investment programme to upgrade the whole network by Network Rail. And the reason they're doing it at Christmas is because it's the least busiest time on the train, though it will mean a lot of disruption between Christmas and New Year. So most of the work will be carried out on the Christmas Day and Boxing Day on 2,000 work sites across the country.
Dogfighting still is a big problem in London, and while many of the organised fights usually happen behind closed doors in places like warehouses and garages, the implications to the public and charities like Battersea Dogs Home are huge.
Our reporter Emilia Papadopoulos has the story.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning in this underpass near Park Lane, and these rough sleepers, mostly Roma gypsies, are about to be woken up.
Well, this morning the Met identified around 80 rough sleepers around Marble Arch and Park Lane, and they were mostly Roma gypsies from Romania. They've now been brought to this administration point where they'll be assessed by police and then passed on to immigration officials who'll check to see if they have a criminal record and determine how long they've been in the country. Officers have already seized hundreds of suspected stolen mobile phones and over £10,000 in cash. Well, the British Transport Police believe that many of these smartphones could have been stolen from passengers on London tubes and trains. They're then brought here, repackaged and sold abroad. Giving Stephanie a consent form to sign 7 minutes before surgery was not how things should be done. He said it was a material breach of duty of care and went against the Royal College of Ophthalmologists guidelines. A can of super-strength cider or beer contains 4.5 units of alcohol. That's more than the recommended daily allowance, and it's affordable, costing as little as 59p.
On a night out at a bar and looking relaxed. But just 24 hours earlier, Jamie Marsh-Smith had been hired to carry out a brutal murder.
On April the 18th last year, Zafar Erin was on his way back to his home here in Southgate. It was early evening, and as he went through this entrance into his block of flats, Jamie Marsh-Smith, who was waiting nearby, fired 7 shots, 3 of which hit Mr. Erin in the back and killed him. The Home Office says it considers all applications on merit, including those with compassionate or compelling circumstances. It says Mr. Cameron's sister's visa was denied because she couldn't give enough evidence to prove she'd be returning home to Jamaica after her stay. They say a single male suspect entered the room on the 7th floor where the women and 3 children were sleeping in adjoining bedrooms. They believe the suspect might have been disturbed when one of the women woke up. He then went on to violently assault all 3 of them with a hammer. Some of the people we spoke to this morning worked in the city. They said they just couldn't afford to be late for work. So what they want is a public consultation. They're also asking Southern for a 25% discount on their travel. So the One More Journey scheme means that even if you don't have enough credit for travel, as long as you have a positive balance on your Oyster card, so in my case 20p, you can still use the bus.
Do we know any details of the fine itself?
Well, we know that the maximum fine for this kind of offence is about £25,000. But again, the Premier League are not revealing exactly how much Crystal Palace have been asked to pay. And many people might argue that £25,000 really isn't that much for a Premier League club. But I think for Crystal Palace, this is much more about the huge blow to their reputation. Many historians believe that this site was the birthplace of mass production in the UK. Today it's made up of mostly offices and houses. But during the First World War, 20,000 men and women from Enfield worked here.